Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We are here at Keller Williams Central, and I have an exciting guest today. But first, before we get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. We want your feedback, and we want you to subscribe. So here today, we are starting our Share Your Story series, and our first guest is Miss Ariel Anderson, our wonderful team leader here at Keller Williams Central. Welcome, Ariel.
Thank you so much for having me, Teresa. I'm excited to be here with y'all.
Well, we are certainly glad to have you here, so we're just going to jump right in if you don't mind.
Let's go.
All right. So, very first question to you is, how did you choose real estate as your career?
It was a process. I always found myself in sales positions. I was a bartender and a server. That was my very first job ever. And as I started to develop in the profession, I've ended up as the director of sales for a hotel. And in Texas, we found ourselves new military couple as the accidental landlords of 2 rental properties.
We can always be exciting, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, plenty of excitement. We made a move to Alaska, and I worked for military housing there.
Okay.
And then once we transitioned to the Fort Campbell area, I knew that that was the route I needed to finally take.
Okay, so you mentioned Alaska, and every time I hear Alaska, I always think igloo. And I know that's probably not the way it is. Did you see any there?
I did not see igloos in Alaska, and I also did not see tumbleweeds in Texas. That was what I was expecting.
Gotcha. No tumbleweeds in Texas. You heard it here. All right. So, at what point in your career did you fall in love with real estate? You said, yes, this is where I need to be.
I think once I got in, it was... I had a desire to make change. Okay. I bought 2 houses without ever getting a home inspection. Don't do that. And went back to the same agent a second time because I thought that this was the best agent ever. And then the more that I learned, the more that I wanted to protect my people. Okay. So I think once I got into that educational teaching, being an advocate aspect of it, and then the thing about real estate is you're rewarded for the efforts that you make.
Right.
You know, if you work hard, you're going to be rewarded.
So you get out of it what you put into it.
Absolutely. Okay. And I had no limit to my mindset. I didn't know what the average agent sold or how many units they did. I just went in and worked hard, you know, and worked harder and did better and made things better and made myself better. And it was that first year. The bug hit me pretty quick.
The bug. I like that. So you went into it with no limiting beliefs and seemed like your slate was clean, which could be a good thing.
Yes.
Because if you do hear some preconceived notions and thoughts, that may stifle your career. So
absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that you went into it with no preconceived notions and a clean slate. Seems like it served you well.
Yes.
Very good. So take me back. Think back to your first year in real estate, your rookie year. What was your experience and how was it like? What was it like?
I made a joke. Insanity! That's what it was.
But you're still here, right?
It was insane. Like I said, I had a really clear goal right off the bat. I had 4 young children in child care, and my child care bill was about $2,000 a month, double my mortgage payment. So I knew right off the bat that I needed to close 1 house a month.
Okay.
I also loved people. I talked to everybody, and I found myself really quickly in a position where I had way more business than I could handle by myself.
Okay. Okay. And so what was that next step for you then? More business that you can handle. What did you do about all this business?
Yeah, another great question. I'm all about models and systems, and that was what Keller Williams gave me.
Okay.
We have what we call the Red Book, the MREA, or Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
And if you haven't read it, go read it. Gary Keller, Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Yes, that is. Those are the models and systems to build a successful real estate business. And I didn't have a background in business management or anything like that. I've got a criminal justice bachelor's from East Carolina, so different skill set.
Okay.
So I took the models and systems and the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and the basics are leads, listings, and leverage. My leverage was a little bit different, being a mom of 4 young children. For me, it became about quality of family time over quantity. And so my first points of leverage were actually people to clean my house, or even to help with my laundry, or transporting the children to and from daycare. That way the time that I spent with them could really be high quality, and I wasn't worried about, you know, the messes made in the playroom or how many dishes were stacking up in the sink.
Right. Okay, so I like the out-of-the-box thinking. Your first assistant was not necessarily an admin for real estate, but it was a housekeeper. It was those things. So I love that, having the quality of time versus the quantity.
And one thing that if I can add in there, right from the beginning, I had a coach through MAPS coaching. And one of the things that the coach helped me to do was determine my dollar per hour worth, which is, you know, I'm kind of humble, and I didn't realize the potential that I had to make, you know, per hour. So that coach helped me to calculate that out, and I started measuring everything against that. If I can make $500 an hour selling real estate and being an advocate for my clients and helping them with the biggest transactions that they'll make in their lives, then is it worth paying somebody $50 an hour to clean my house or help with my laundry?
Absolutely. So it seems like that was the best route for you to go.
Absolutely.
And with 4 young kids. And let's talk a little bit more about that. How were you able? I know you got a housekeeper and things of that nature, but how could you juggle 4 kids and this flourishing real estate career?
Time blocking. I mean, I had to be very strategic with my time, run an orderly house, run an orderly business. And the biggest aspect was expectations management with my clients. Sometimes I had to take children along, or, you know, if I had to meet an appraiser early in the morning on a Saturday morning, I can't tell you how many times I've walked them through new construction houses and things like that. So time blocking, doing the activities that it's the 80-20 principle. The 20% of the activities actually get us 80% of our results. And getting real clear on what those highest priority tasks are. All
right. Very good. So let me ask you this. You had a thriving team in Tennessee. How did that propel you into this role as team leader?
You know, one of the great things about this company is that you have the ability to develop as a person. And that was something that I took seriously. So over the course of a little bit over 8 years that I've been with Keller Williams, I delved into self-mastery and what does that look like for me and what's my personal mission statement. And at some point along the way that evolved, and I realized that I was put here by God on earth to be a voice for people that maybe don't realize that they have a voice or they can't use it for some reason. And that's when the leadership path became clear to me.
Did you always, or did you at any point say, I want to be a team leader, or is it just something that just evolved?
No. In fact, I was like,
I don't want it.
Team leader is the last job on the face of the earth that I want to take. And I had a wonderful mentor, I'm going to name her name, Cheryl Sidoti. She was the leader of the Southeast region. And she approached me one day at an ALC meeting, and she said, I've been watching you. You know, you were born for this. And I said, oh, no, ma'am.
So you didn't want any parts of it, yet here you are.
Yes, and it's a love for the people and for the company. Literally, that's all that the role is just loving the agents, loving the company. And I know that I'm living my mission.
I love it. Love it. So it's not just about numbers for you.
No, numbers are important.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's about the people.
I've always believed if you get the people aspect right, and the numbers will come.
The numbers will come. I love that. All right. So what is the one thing, because everybody has a thing, we have something that we bring to the table. What is the one thing that Ariel brings to the role of team leader? The one thing.
I will say I have no problem rocking the boat to make a positive impact.
Okay.
Change.
Okay. All right.
I don't necessarily prefer or like conflict, and yet I feel like I was given the gift of courage in that regard.
Okay.
And so I'm obligated to use that for good.
Obligated to use it for good. I love it. So you don't mind rocking the boat as long as it's for positive.
Absolutely.
Forward change. I love it.
Yes.
So what changes have helped you here at this particular market center? How have you rocked the boat here?
Oh, we've rocked the boat a lot since the beginning.
Very true.
Systems, that's been one of the biggest things.
Okay.
You know, when you put systems in place, it takes emotional decisions out of it.
Very true.
And it removes the possibility for favoritism or doing one thing for this person or this group over here that you're not able to do over here. And it just makes everything easier. Everybody knows what to expect. We've changed the organizational structure.
Okay.
I believe that Burlington, Hillsborough, Mebane are more progressive market centers than many across the United States.
Okay.
We're seeing things differently. We know the industry is changing and shifting, and we're listening to our agents and putting things into place quickly to help them.
I love it.
Be the best.
So, and that goes back to what you said before, having a heart for the people and being a voice and providing that voice for the people. All right. So let's talk about recruiting, because as a team leader, you recruit as well. So what are the characteristics that you look for? I know you've built a successful team in Tennessee, Clarksville, right?
Yes.
So what are the characteristics you look for? So what do you say to that person who's building a team? What do you look for when you're doing that? And what are the characteristics you look for when you're recruiting?
Great question. Coachability is probably number one.
Okay.
And if you have that, I can give you the tools and the systems and the information necessary to be successful and achieve your goals, because success is relative, right? It's like, it's what do you want to accomplish?
Right.
So I also think there's a great book, Patrick Lencioni, The Ideal Team Player.
Okay.
Humble, hungry, and smart. And that's not necessarily smart in the sense of book smart, but smart with people, the ability to communicate well with people.
Okay.
If you have those three qualities, man, I want you.
The sky's the limit, right?
Yes.
You can teach them anything. So let me ask this. On your path of success here to this particular role, I know you've seen a lot of things and experienced a lot of things. If there is one thing that you could do over, but you wouldn't do over, if you had it to do over again, what would you do the exact same way?
So some folks don't know this because I bleed KW red.
She drank the Kool-Aid, everybody.
Yeah, and if that's what it takes, I would do it all over again. I left Keller Williams for a brief period of time and went to a different company. And when I left Keller Williams, I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. My team leader gave me a big hug and said, I want you to know that you're welcome back with open arms anytime that you want to come back. And he sent me on with my listings, sent me with my clients, and I didn't know that not every company does that. So I got bit really hard, really fast. At this other company, and I realized that there's a lot of gray area out in the real estate world, and that not every group or firm has a belief system that guides them. And so I was gone for about 6 months, and I'm not one to bounce from company to company, so I came right back through the KW doors. They welcomed me home, and I've looked back on that moment many times and thought, would I do it over again? And I think that I would, because it enabled me to come back all in.
All in. Drink the Kool-Aid. And it's not, you must enjoy it.
I do.
It is a good
Tastes
company.
good. Serves me well.
Serves you well. Wonderful. All right. So, something fun about Ariel. You mentioned the superlatives in high school, and everyone knows what the superlatives are. If you graduated from high school, you know what they are. So Ariel is going to tell us the superlatives that she was voted for in high school.
So I got voted most likely to succeed. I like that one. And I also got voted best excuse giver. So if it's not on the calendar with me, it doesn't exist, and I can literally come up with any excuse ever to sit at home and not do anything.
I absolutely love it. So you must came up with a lot of excuses in high school.
Apparently so. I mean, I thought that they were valid,
but the teachers didn't think so, obviously.
Maybe not.
All right.
Dog ate my homework again.
That dang dog. I love it. I love it. All right. So before we wrap up, you got to give some advice to the folks. So what would you say to that newly licensed broker? They're coming into real estate. They want to jump in, but they're nervous. What would you say to them? Look at the camera and talk to that newly licensed agent.
First thing, you have to go figure out how to get listings.
Okay.
There are people out there that are hurting, and all you have to do is find them. And if somebody is not ready to sell or not necessarily in need of selling, that's fine. Move on to the next and find the people that are. Okay. There's a big portion of people that don't know the value of their home, and you are the real estate expert. Go share that value with them. The second thing is don't get hung up on the details. It all really boils down to one thing, and that's building your sphere of influence and connecting with it consistently. So you have to talk to people. Go get some business, and then we have something to coach you on, right? It's the folks that get hung up on getting the actual business that it just slows them through the process. Get clear on your goals, what your mission statement is, why you're doing what you're doing, and everything else falls into place.
I love it. I love it. Well, you heard it here first, and from Ariel, someone who has been and is still successful in business, because you're still running your team in Tennessee from North Carolina. So you can do that. That is a thing.
And they actually took their first expansion to Fort Bragg. So we heart referrals. I wouldn't be a real estate agent if I didn't say it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, she drank the Kool-Aid, and she's a real estate agent at heart. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today, Ariel. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to talk with me today. And thank you so much for watching. Again, we need you to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, because you never know, you could be next. Thank you so much for watching.